So
This
you can give
conference will now be recorded.
access to these people, and if you see here, this is complete DevOps consoles. Like in every project, get these options like a board. We'll have options to for the repository. We can create a multiple repository, and then the pipeline. In pipeline, we have a various functionality like a build pipeline, environment, release, library, task group, and also once we'll discuss these topics, we'll go on in the details. So we'll cover all these things like what is the use of environment, how we can create a release means like a deployment pipeline, and then the test plan artifact. So wherever this project is nothing but a workspace. Okay, so if I am starting any new project and all, you can create like a separate dev of workspace for your team. Okay, and in
Okay.
this you can assign. So we have like a two modes. One is a public and the private project. Okay, so public in the sense anybody who have access to these your organizations. Okay, yeah, anyone who have like people will be able to access from the internet. Okay, so that is the public project. So in organizations, they are creating a private project, so you cannot access the private project. So only if you have uh, like a user should have a access, right? So there are the various type of access. Like we have like a project admin, then contributor. We'll talk about like a various label of the accesses, how we can create a group and all. So suppose the multiple team is working, and inside a team, and there are like suppose three team is working together, and inside each team there is a 10 and 15 resources are there. So you cannot add manually, right? 10 and 15. What you can do, you can add all these resources into a team, like how we are creating a DL, right? Basically, DL. So how we can create a group of suppose 10 people is there. We can create a group of 10 people, and then we can give the access, or we can assign a role to that group. So who will be the part of that group, they will automatically get the access. Okay, so what he'll do, he'll create a project for you. So I'll also, so to create a project, just click on the new project. Here you can give any project name. Okay, so I'll just give Raghav and DevOps, and here you can type for the project description. And also now if you see the visibility, we have two options. One is the public
Public.
and the private. So if you'll see the, if you'll read it out the like a public, anyone on the internet can view your project. Certain features like TVS are not supported. Okay, so in public, some feature are not supported, but anyone who has access to internet can see your workspace. So they can see your code, they can see your pipeline on all these things. Okay, they cannot trigger the pipeline because I'll show you the various like of functionality and various label of a role and all you have. So we'll go here and we'll create a private. Okay, I'll give the description. This is demo project. Okay, and just hit a create apps. So it will create a DevOps workspace for you. So where we can play. Okay, now here if you see, we have created a workspace. Okay, and all these project will be part of your organization. So if you see, my organization is dev.azure.com/ this one, and inside that, I can see these are the project, right? So these many project I have created. These are the project. Okay, so if you see, we have created this for you, the Raghav project, and the visibility is it will show it here, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you want to give the access, we can directly invite the people from here. Okay, so they will get access. They will get invitations for your DevOps workspace. Yeah, what we can do, we can go to the project setting. Okay, now if you see here, we have a teams here, right? We have teams, so you can create a new teams. Okay, teams is nothing but like a kind of group, so you can create a new team. Okay, so suppose I am creating our team's name, some DevOps team. Okay,
Mm.
so I have created DevOps team. Now this is the member. Here you can add any member. So suppose if I want to add you, I can add you here. Okay, now so see, by default I'll be the member since I am the admin, right? So I'll be the
Admin.
admin.
Yeah.
So if Yeah. So by default, I'll be the so I have an admin's role by default because I'm like a creator of the project. So I'm the admin of the project. So I'll be automatically added to any of the teams. Okay. Now, if you want to add your team member, okay, so we can add it here. So you can provide either like a users, groups, service principals, manage identity and all. You can add any email ID, and you can save it here. Tell me your
Okay.
email ID. I'll just
Raghav dot RAG
R
HH
A G H
double H,
this one,
sorry.
right?
No, no. Double
A
H A W A
Raghav dot
A W.
Raghav dot
Not no, no. In
okay
place of
A
E, in place of E,
V A
W.
okay W
A
A
A 1313
one three
at the rate of
at the rate
Hotmail, not Gmail,
Hotmail
Hotmail.
Hotmail
So the dot com.
this one, right?
Yes.
So I have added one member, so he'll automatically get like a email. Okay. So this one now, if you see these teams, na, this is the settings. Now, if you go to the permission, so we have created a team. Team is nothing but basically like a group. So if you see it,
Group.
it is showing it here, the like a members, right? So how many members here? Two members. Raghav DevOps teams. Raghav DevOps team. So we have created this. Like this is the default project team. Okay. Uh, and this one is the new team we have created. So here we can see. So you can see you can add a multiple member. Okay. Uh, so
Okay.
if and there will be limitations if you because we are using a free tier of a DevOps subscription, right? So this is a free dev.azure.com is free. So if you go into any organization, they will be like they will be using a paid version, right? Enterprise versions. So there
Okay.
some functionality will be more in that. Means here there will be limitations like you cannot add more than like a 20 people in your teams and all, right? But in organizations that limitations will be not there because they will be adding a paid
It's a
version.
paid
It is
version.
like yeah, it is a paid version, so they can add a multiples 100,000 and all. Okay, because in organizations there will be multiples people, right? So there shouldn't be any local limitations and all. So it is like a same thing, like how we are using Hotstar. If you are a premium user, we can access these. If you are like a free user, then we have a limited access to the videos and all, right? So it is the same here. So some options will be like we cannot use here just because of free tire. But see, I'll say like 80 and 90% options will be like a same. Just like a 10 and 5% options will not be there, and there should be limitations. We don't need to add like a 20 more than 20 people, right? So and the process and everything is going to be same. So don't think like that. The process of paid version will be different and all these things. The creations, how we're creating a team, everything will be the same. Okay. So,
Okay.
sorry, any doubt?
No, no.
All right. Now, if you'll see, we have added like now if you go to the permissions, we can see that there are the various type of permissions. So first, we have to understand the permissions, right? So if you'll see, like we have a contributor access, okay, and product administration, product valid reader, DevOps teams. Okay, now the DevOps team is there. See, now we can set this to the permissions like a member of, see, the member is this one. See, you can add this. So now we have to give the permission of our team, right? So I'll just go back. So if you see, these are the permission. Okay, we have
Okay.
we have created this track of build admin. So if you want to give a contributor access, what I can do, I can go to the contributor access. I can add the people here. Okay. Okay, instead of adding, because suppose why we have created a group, suppose if you have a multiple people, it is very hard to add again and again, right? And this one will become very messy. So we can create a group and can add. So now I want to give our team as a contributor access. Okay, so what I can do, this is the team we have created, just select it. Okay, This will be the member of this one. Getting right? And you can
Yes.
set the permission also. So if you want to add anyone like a see, we can add here and all these things. See, so member, who is the member? DevOps team. So DevOps team have like a which permissions? Contributor permissions, right? Getting. Now we can set the permissions here. So if you'll go here, so I'll show you that. So they may ask what type of permissions is available in the ADO workspace. So these are the permissions. So you need to remember this. Admin access. This is the build admin. Okay. There will be two administrator. If you'll see this. Okay. Which one? One is the project admin. This one is the build admin.
Okay.
Okay. So what is the difference between like of build admin and the project admin? See,
Build
so
admin
project,
means
yeah, you tell me, I'll explain that. You tell me.
like he is the main person to build off
No,
any queries.
okay, but what is the basic, like, what is the different? Why they have created a two roles? Basically, these are the two different permission, right? They have created. They are like
Like
they're the project
build is like
administrator.
he needs to plan and everything.
I'll tell you. See, project admin have a very higher privilege. Okay, means he can
Okay.
do anything related to project. He can delete a member, he can delete a even project, he can create and he can create a project, he can create a organization and all. So these are the project, this is the highest privilege. Okay, and bill admin has the highest privilege related to the pipeline. And also if you see this member of this can modify, delete, build, definition, manage, queue, complete and all. So this is only related to pipeline. So he can only delete a pipeline and all. He cannot delete the project. Getting right? He cannot
Yeah.
remove and all. So no, so that is also build admin is, he's only responsible. He's an admin of your like of build part, like your pipeline part. So he can play with the pipeline. He can delete the pipeline. Contributor access can also delete the pipeline. If you see here, can modify the team items within the team, but reader and all these things, they have only like a project valid user readers. They have only like a read access and they cannot delete a pipeline. They can reader cannot run the pipeline. So suppose there is a pipeline it is created. If user want to run this, they cannot run. They need at least minimum level of access needed is contributor access. So okay, so if you'll see like a build admin, so who is the member of build admin? No, no one is there. No, build admin. We don't have any members. So how we can add? So what we'll do? We'll add our team. So which one our team? We have this team, DevOps team, right?
Mm, yes.
So I'll just copy it. Let me type it here for. So build admin. See, I am getting an option from the other team also, right? This one is a DevOps team. This one, right?
Yes.
Is Java. So I'll add this. So now getting right. So we have given this team as a build admin
Build admin.
permission. Uh, so suppose if you have a 20 members, all these 20 member inside this team will automatically get the build admin, right? We don't need to add the people manually, right? So we can save your time, right? We just created. So suppose if you want to assign the multiple, next time you just want to remove it from the build part and just want to give a like a reader access and all, we can remove it from here, right? We can
Yes.
remove it here from here and we can add in. So that is the, that's why we need to create the groups, we need to create a teams and all these things. So your audio will look very clean and we can manage your roles and permissions very nicely. Right now we can see here, you can set the, see what is the build admin can do. Delete team. Okay. Okay, see, view project level information. Allow is allow by default. This is allow. Okay, so he can see test plan. He can do all these things. So if you want to give him the specific access, what you need to do? So delete team. Manage project property. We can see allow. Okay, rename
Okay.
project name. Okay, see, by default it is not allowed. Why? Because and this is not set, means he cannot rename the team project and all these things he cannot do. Okay, that the by default. Okay, he cannot do. He can only do whatever the things is allowed in it. See, he cannot delete in edit and all. He cannot delete, remove, permanently delete the work item. He can't do all these things. These are related to board. Okay, this is the Azure board. This is related to board. What he can do with the board? He can bypass. He can only create a tag definitions. Okay, he cannot delete. He cannot move. He cannot permanently delete the work item and all. And then in the general permissions, what he can do, he can manage project property. And we have said this. Okay, if you want to set this, we can say if you want to deny, so if he'll do that deny, he'll not be able to he'll not be able to manage the project property. He need to contact the admin, right? So like this we can um, have a control over the permissions getting, right?
Yes, yes.
Now I'll show you the admin level permissions. Let me go back here and come to here. Oh, sorry, I was showing you the build admin only, right? And now I'll show you the project admin.
Project
See,
admin.
in the project admin by default it is allow is there, right? We cannot change it
Yes.
because by default it is, if you say, he can do all these
All it
thing, right?
is.
Yeah, so
Oh,
most of the things it will be done by him. So this is the, so in the interview they will ask you the questions, what is the higher privilege, higher roles access in ADO? So what will be the answer?
project admin.
Project admins. Okay, so we have a basically four type of access property in ADO. One is the project admin, that is the project administrator, and then we have a build admin, then we have a reader access, we have a valid project user, right? So that is the four type of permissions we have. Okay, and if you'll see who is a member, and also only I am the member of a project admin, so I have added myself as default because this is organization is created by me, so I'll be the so if you want to add anyone like a 2-3 persons, we can add into that. Okay, see, like a member of project valid users, and then like a setting, so we can upload the image and all, like the go with the admin and all, so that is the additional feature getting, right?
Yes.
So now the DevOps team have which all access? We have added two access, right? One
Yes,
is
yes.
the contributor and the build admin access to this. So anybody who will be the part of this, they can, and you can customize your permissions also, right? So suppose in the reader, if you go to the reader, if you see not set, not set, not set, okay, only project view project level information is allowed. So by default what he can do, only he can view this. Okay, only he can view, he cannot do anything. If you see, the only view option is allowed for him, right? But
Mm,
if you want, we can set the permission for him. So
okay.
if you, and only the admin will be able to set the permission. So suppose if I am an admin, so it will allow me only to set the permissions. Okay, I can only play with the permissions label property. Okay, if
Okay.
you are a part of, if you have a contributor access, a read of access, we cannot, this option will be not enabled for you. We cannot set this. Okay,
Okay.
now the other in the setting, what is the see? We have like a notification. So as soon as we'll see, so if any build will be successful, suppose if you are running any pipeline, your pipeline has got failed, yeah, your pipeline has got passed and all these things, we'll get a notifications. So if you say
Um,
this is a enable, right? If you don't want to get a notification, we can just check that. If you want to send a notifications, we can like set the notifications. Yeah, we can new subscription also. So see, like a build fail, what you want to a build fail. See a build fail, whom you want to deliver to any team project, any specific team. That I go add new clause. We can add failed is equal to failed, yeah, pass and all. We can send to this any team project and all these things. So by default they will this team will get notified. So suppose you should be knowing that, right? Your team should be knowing, like a developer should be knowing whether my code or pipeline went fine or not, right? So likewise we can send the notification, so we don't need to tell anybody that you have run the pipeline or all. By automatically and they will get the by automatically they will get the notification on their email. So this ADO will send. ADO is nothing but Azure DevOps organizations. The ADO will send the notification to them. That
Okay.
makes sense, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So if you see, there are the various functionality. So if you have like a pull request, also he'll get a request. If there will be any pull request, he will get a notification. If there is any pull request changes, we'll get notification. If there is any build complete, he will get notification. Then pipeline a stage waiting for approval, he'll get notifications, manual validations pending, all these things. So he'll get a notifications related to these many activity.
Okay.
So these are the part of CD pipeline. So these related to the CD pipeline, like a manual intervention spending, deployment to on a stage and all. So suppose you might have you have to configure the approval mechanism, right? Because if you not configure the approval mechanism, what will happen? Anybody can come and deploy a code in the production environment, right? That will disturb your working code. How we are setting in the pipeline, we used to provide you like only the valid user should be able to run the pipeline. Even though if you run any pipeline or by mistakenly, there should be approval mechanism. It will complete the deployment stage only after a proper approval, right? Otherwise,
Yeah.
accidentally you can deploy any code, right, to your production
Yeah.
server and all. So that may cause a
Yes.
issue. So these are the things. Now you are able to relate the things, right? Now we are getting something.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
Like
now
we
these
need to raise a ticket and we need to do all those things will come, right? Any
Yes,
changes
so
happen.
say you can any pipeline fail. So suppose there is a different support team. Okay, we can configure the support team email ID or DL there. Okay, so why automatically they will get mail that this pipeline has failed. So they will go and they will look into it.
Ah, okay, okay, sure.
Getting right. Yeah, if you
Hmm.
are on, we can also get an email. So suppose if I run the pipeline, so you don't need to monitor your pipeline. So suppose your if your monitor is if your pipeline is taking 35 minutes to run, we don't need to sit and see your pipeline for 35 minutes, right? Once the pipeline will completed, automatically we'll get a mail. We'll come to know whether my pipeline is succeeded or failed and all, right? So we can just run the pipeline and we can do some other work and all, right? We don't need to keep and
Yes.
monitoring your pipeline and all. You don't need to waste the time there. So that's why the DevOps are one important. See, if you see this, there is any coding involved? No. It's just like an integration. You are doing any coding to send a notification? No, right?
No, no.
We are just doing some clicks. We are just setting up. So you should know all these things. So
Hmm.
so DevOps is all about the integration. What you are doing, we are just integrating the things. The things are there. It is in unorganized form. What we are doing, we are just organizing it.
Okay.
And now if you see the service hook. So what is the service hook? So basically if you want to add any subscriptions, if you want to create like if you want to add any third party tools like okay, Azure App Service, Grafana, Jenkins and all, any third party tools if you want to add. So suppose if you don't want to like if you want to add your Jenkins, here you can add the Jenkins. So the service hook is what basically we are creating a connection to any third party tools, right? So suppose if you want to integrate any third party tool, if you want to integrate Office 365, I said I'll cover the Trello. If you want to integrate Trello, so we can do. So if you'll see the Trello, the next Trello card, any bill completions, what it will say, the bill completions, any so settings, so we need user board token label and all these are the required. So you can take this from the Trello and we can I'll show you once we'll start working like a I'll connect a GitHub with your ADO project. So how we can connect to we can so suppose if your code is there in third party tool, how we can create you can even create suppose if you're keeping a code in GitHub, we can even create your pipeline in Azure DevOps. So we what we need to do, we need to first make the connection, right? There should be a connection between your GitHub and ADO project, right? If you want to pull
Yeah.
something, we first need to make a connection. So how we'll make a connection? I'll show you that. So the hook is that only. If you see the service hook now, so it is for that only. You can create a subscription. So see, we have a by default there is a various option, right? We are getting a Bamboo, Datadog, Grafana, Jenkins, Microsoft Team, Office 365, Slack, Trigo. These are the options available. We can connect it. Even we can, if okay.
Okay.
See, it
Hello.
is to connect with the other repo and all, right? If you see here, the
Mm.
apps centers allow you to automate the life cycle of your iOS, Android, Windows, Mac apps connect to your repo within a minute. Within the So suppose if you're keeping if you are keeping code anywhere, if you are using Azure storage, Azure app services and all, you can directly connect to your like a uh, to your radio project. That is the way so you have understood that, right? So you have come to like a teams, now teams is like a nothing but the group, we can set
Group
the permission, we can set the
permissions and notifications.
notification and service host. So if you want to connect to any third party like a repository, you can connect with that. Okay,
Like
any third party.
our code is in outside, we need
Yes,
to
our
bring
code is
a board.
outside. We can connect. Yeah, if you want to send a notification on your Teams and all, we can do that. We can first make the connection. Then we'll get an option to configure that in notification, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So all these thing we can do. So and now the third thing will come to like a dashboard.
Dashboard.
Okay. So we can create only the admin can set a permission. So this is related to the permission I
Admin.
set here. So create dashboard, edit dashboard, delete dashboard and all. Okay. So I can able to see project settings. So I'm inside a Raga DevOps. So I'm the admin. So I can see. So I'll show you once I'll come to that how we can see this is the dashboard. So I don't want to give the permission anybody to delete dashboard. So I'll just set the edit dashboard. They can go and put the content there. So dashboard is nothing but like a kind of see in project we need lot of documentation, right? How the development happened, the documentation of your high level diagram, design, and all, right? Because you might have got many documentations before joining any project, right? They will ask you to go through it for the KT.
Okay.
So in this, what you can do instead of maintaining a various Word document, we can create a dashboard, and it dashboard is nothing but like a kind of wiki page, right? How we have like a Wikipedia having all the informations for a person,
Yes,
a
sir.
people, place, and all, right? So we can create a
Mm,
dashboard. We can keep all your project information. So if anybody has come, anybody has joined, they wanted to know about your project, they can just refer. They can give them the URL. This is my
the
dashboard URL. Go through and read it. You
like
don't need to
SOP.
maintain. Yes, similar like SOP. So we don't need to like maintain. I'm maintaining like a 10 and 20 copies of or like a notepad, what document and all, right? We can maintain whatever we are studying here. You can maintain the here also instead of writing into the notepad. I'll keep it here. So it will create a nice uh, like a kind of Wikipedia for you where you can attach link, we can do many things okay related to that. So I'll show you when I'll work. So as of now I'm like just explaining you the what are the options available in this ADO for the project setting, what the admin can do. Okay, now if you see the board is project configurations. Okay, so you can create like a sprint one, sprint two. Now I came to like a set the date, right? So suppose is sprint one is there, right? By default, we can add a sprint two. I have explained you the sprint, right?
Yeah, yeah. Some
So
meeting.
suppose if no, not a meeting, it is like a duration, like a 2 weeks, 3 weeks duration, right?
Ah, yes, yes.
Timeline. So if you see that I wanted to give the sprint, so it will start from like a this 23 Monday, and it will end when it will end on after 2 weeks, 3rd of February. Okay, locations close that. Close and save. So see, my sprint one will be a start from 23 and in that is a 23 too. So we'll come to know, right?
Yes, yes. When will the project and when will they start?
When
It
is
will
the
not,
project not? When is the sprint will
and
end? A sprint is
yeah,
like
yeah,
a
it's a
2 weeks or 3 weeks,
spring.
right? So project, see, project might take like a 4 and 5 month, why a 4 and 5 year, but inside that there will be like a multiple sprint, right? One, two, three, four. So suppose this
Yeah.
project is of
Mm,
20 sprint, so it will you will come to know, okay, my sprint one is ending it here, so my sprint will start from like a fifth, right? Because
yes,
fourth and
yes.
five is a weekend, so it will start. So you will have a better idea, like we can plan your things and all. Now here is the team configurations. See, so backlog navigation saver. See, so team capacity. So select your days. So suppose if your organization is working on 6 days, you can select this. By default, this is a 5 day working, right?
Okay.
So you can
Yes.
customize your the days and all. Okay, so see capacity. So it will help you to create a capacity. So suppose if you want to track your the absentee of your resources, how many days my resources was not available in this sprint. Everything you can track it here. Okay.
Okay.
Now, if you see, they have given you a separate GitHub connection. This is a similar service related to this service hook. But why this GitHub connection they have given it differently? Now the GitHub is, see, Azure DevOps is on by,
GitHub.
no, Azure DevOps. Who on the Azure DevOps? Azure, who on the Azure? Who is
Microsoft.
the, yes, Microsoft. Now the GitHub is also on by Microsoft. So they have given like a dedicated service hook for the GitHub connections.
GitHub.
So
Okay. It's like
Microsoft has
Microsoft has taken GitHub
Microsoft has
also.
taken over, has taken GitHub also. Like a 2 3 years back, they have taken the
Oh,
GitHub. 4 year
okay.
back now, 4 to 5 year back. I don't remember the
Okay.
exact year, but they have now the GitHub is owned by the Microsoft.
Okay.
Okay, like how this Instagram and WhatsApp is owned by now Facebook Meta, now they call. So similarly, like a Microsoft had bought the GitHubs, and they have now even bought like Elasticsearch and all. I'm not sure like that there 2 3 more tool they have on now.
Okay.
Okay, so now
Like
if you see,
GitHub
you
is
can,
useful. How GitHub will be used?
GitHub
Actually, I
is
don't know
nothing
how
but a
GitHub
source code
works.
repository. I'll show you everything. You don't need to worry. GitHub is a source
Hmm.
code repository. So here, what is the replacement of the GitHub here? Repo. So how the repo we have these many options, right? Commit, push, change. We can commit your code and all these things. We can do the same thing in the GitHub.
Okay.
Okay. So once I'll actually so here we can connect to your GitHub account. Okay. Now how we can connect to a GitHub? We can connect using two things. We can connect using PAT, that is a personal access token. You can configure the username and password. I'll connect. I'll show you. Don't worry. I'll go one by one. Otherwise, you'll get confused, right? So let
Okay.
me first explain you the like what are the functionality available in the audio. See, nobody will go from this basic. You're getting right. I'm going with the very
Yes.
basic. Okay,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
basic. I'm explaining. Okay, so so once we'll be aware about what we can do with the audio, then we'll see how we are now seeing that what we can do, and from the upcoming sessions we'll see how we can do. Now, if you see, there is a
Like
pipeline that, yeah,
in upcoming sections, can you ask me, like, give me access to share my screen also?
you can ask to your who is coordinator, so you can ask to her.
Okay, I'll ask because like
Okay, you
I
can
have
ask
get
to her
doubt now.
about all these things, like regarding recordings and all these things. So my responsibility is just to take your class, all
Okay.
these recording kinds, and your like a screen sharing options, meetings link, and all these things. She'll be responsible. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
So just contact your coordinator. She will help you to in all these things. Now, if you come to the pipeline, so pipeline we having agent pool. So agent pool is nothing but like this is the server. See, you will be running your pipeline, right? Your pipeline requires some
Pipeline,
server, right? Pipeline
pipeline, like
is
how
nothing
will
but
it will?
CI/CD. So suppose if you want to build your code, you will create a pipeline, right? A pipeline is automatic build.
Okay.
Right, how we'll build that? We'll create a pipeline that is called pipeline, right? Pipeline. So so we need like what we need to server, we need any dedicated server, right? if you want to run anything, how where you are running? You are running on some server, right?
Okay.
So this server is called a agent pool. Now we have a two options. If you see, we have a Azure. Since we have created the GitHub, so Microsoft will give you one agent for you. So if you see, they have given you one agent, hosted agent. This is owned by a Microsoft. This is called Cloud. I'll explain you in the detail. Okay, don't worry.
Okay.
So and this, and then we have the other option also. If you have your own private server, you can add that also agent. So if you see, add the pool, okay, and we can add the agent. So suppose if you want to add any like a private agent, we can do it here. So if you see that agent is there, so I've already added these two private agent. Now these are the offline because the server has got deleted. So the status is showing as offline. So if you want to add, we can add. So we can add any operating system as a agent. Okay. So there could be the various. So if you see, if you want to add that, so we have a three options. We can add a Windows operating system as a agent. We can add a Mac also. We can add a Linux. Okay.
Okay.
So if you'll see like a Linux, okay, we have see. So here is the step they have given. So first, what we need to do, we need to download the agent file, then create a folder and all these step we have given. We have to do these steps. So I'll show you the step also. Once you'll do that, we can add some for Mac. There is a different agent package file. These are the agent package file. Okay, for Windows, this is a different. How we are installing a server, a software, right? So for a different operating system, there will be like a different process, right? So installing any software, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, because so for Windows, you download the Windows file. For Mac, we download the Mac file. For Linux, we download the Linux file, right? So similarly here
Linux
also,
file.
there is a different a package file for adding agent. So we can add agent as any operating system. Okay, so this is so agent is nothing but, as of now, understand, agent is nothing but a server, a physical server where your pipeline runs. Okay,
Okay.
so what is the agent?
A server where
Agent
pipeline
is
runs.
nothing but
A
a
physical
physical server, like a physical server where your pipeline
server.
runs. We need something to run your pipeline, right? We need some
Yes, yes.
dedicated server, right? Either it could be on-prem, say cloud hosted, anywhere. Okay, we don't worry about like it's hosted. Okay, it could be hosted on the cloud, it could be hosted on like on-prem and all these things. But what we need a dedicated server to build your applications, to do the deployment things and all these things, right? To run
Yes.
any of the pipeline, to run any script, where you are running a script, we need if you are running a script in laptop is nothing but your server, right? Your physical server, right? That Windows server. So we need something to run it, right? So likewise, so to run the pipeline, what you need, we need an agent. Now there is a two type of agent. One is the cloud hosted agent, and other one is a private agent, that is called dedicated agent, private agent, so hosted agent. So what is the different and all? So once we'll go into the detail, I'll explain you the what is the different. See, the cloud hosted agent, it is owned by the Microsoft, so you don't have any control. So suppose if you want to install any required software and all, you cannot do that in the cloud hosted agent, right? Because that is not owned by you, right? You're not owning the server, so we don't have a permission to that server, right? You cannot log into that server and do the deployment and all these things. What the Microsoft do is, they provide you the cloud hosted agent. At least you can work with the basics pipeline and all this thing, and they will make sure all these the popular library will be installed, like Python will be there, Java will be there, all these things will be there. So suppose if you want to add some certain library that is only very specific to your project and all these things, we can only do on your private agent. So what you can do, you can create a your server, Linux server, Windows server, Mac server, any server, and we can configure that as an agent. Now that agent will be available for you, right? So that is a control by you, right? Now
Yes.
this is the parallel job. So suppose if you are see one parallel job up to 1800 minutes. So if you see, this is the free tier, so they can only support you one parallel. Okay, if you have the like a self-hosted, we can run the so suppose if you have run two three pipeline, okay, together, okay, so it can only run one the
Only
current
single
pipeline,
pipe.
and other one a single pipeline, right? Because other three
Mm,
will go into the waiting, right? Once this
mm,
pipeline will completed, then only the second one will start and all. But if you are configuring your self-hosted dedicated pipeline, we can run a multiple, right? It will run parallelly, so it will save your time. Getting now, you're getting idea, right? Parallel job.
yes,
See, so there is just some limitations, right? So if you see the free parallel job, so because we are using a free tier, so there will be some limitations. But if you can go in the project, they will use the private agent. Okay, so we can run like up to like a multiple like a 10, 12 pipeline together, right? So if you let's start the all this pipeline, you can even use like a three. If suppose you have 100 pipeline, what you can do, you can use like a you can configure your 10 and 20. You can configure 3, 4 agent, right?
yes.
So then this is the pipeline setting like a see
Settings.
like a day to keep artifact, how many days you want to keep, how many days you want to keep the run and all, days to keep the pull request, number of the recent run means if you have run the 5 time pipeline, it will only show the three pipeline 3 runs, right? Number of the runs. Getting
Yes.
right. So these all you can do with the related to your pipeline settings. Then this one is the test management. Here you can create like a system detect, custom detect, and all board and all. That is not important for a DevOps engineer. If you see like a this one, the service connection is a very important for you. So this service connection is now and this one is your ADO, right? The Azure DevOps. Now, if you are running any pipeline, where you will deploy your code? You will deploy the code either hosted on the on-premise or a cloud, right? So suppose
Yes.
your server is in cloud, Azure cloud. So how will connect to your Azure cloud? So we can connect using a Zig service connections, help you to manage the huge authentication external services, right? So if you want to connect to your Azure cloud, you can connect to. You can create a service connection. Here, see, in service connections we have like these many things, right? If you want to connect to anything, so see, if you want to connect to the Jira, Maven tool, Python's package, and all these are the service connections, right? So if you want
Okay.
to connect to your Azure cloud, you can use the Azure Resource Manager. Here, if you go to manage identity, how you want to create. So service principal automatic and service principal manual. So if you go, we have to put all your subscription ID, subscription name, detail, and then your service id, service key, tenant id, all these things if you switch, so it will connect to and grant permission to all the pipeline. So it will, this pipeline you will be able to deploy anything, right? So because your server will be hosted in some cloud, and if you want to deploy it from here, there should be like a connection between your DevOps and cloud, right? So we can create the connection using a service connection. This is very important. Okay, if before running any pipeline, what we need to do first, we need to create a service connections. Okay, if you want to run any pipeline in your cloud, if you want to deploy anything on the cloud, what you need to do, we need to create a service connections. Getting right.
Yes, yes.
XML build service is not see, repository is nothing but like where you can keep a code. So by default here you can create multiple repository, you can create branching strategy and all. So our next topic will be repository. And no, so next topic will be the planning first, then we'll go into the repository. So this one, and this is the artifact. Artifact is suppose if you have created a build. See, if you'll run the Java, you'll get a jar file, right? So that is nothing but like a build package. So we need to store your build package somewhere, right? So that is nothing but artifact. We can store it, C packages, we can store your build packages here in the artifact. So this is the use of artifact. Then test is not used for us, test is used by the tester. So like you can like a test plan, test retention, and all these things setting you can come. So how many days automated testing will, if you want to keep like a 10 days, 80 days, never delete and all. Getting right.
Yes.
So these are the options available for the project settings. So admin can do these many options. So now we see it look like very small things, right? When we have created the project, but if you go inside, there are the many things inside that, right?
Mm, yeah.
we can do lot many things. So Azure DevOps is not it is not too hard also, and it's not too much, but you should be aware of so once we'll know that, because there will be there are the demand in the market for the Azure DevOps engineer, okay, because most of the organization now is starting using the Azure
Azure.
cloud and all. Why? Because Microsoft has done a great job. They has built and they have created all these tools at a one place. We don't. So suppose if you are working on AWS, yeah, for keeping a code, we need to buy some third party subscription like GitHub, GitLab, and all these things, right? For build, we need to buy the Jenkins subscription. For test, other and all. Here you will get everything at a one place, right?
Yes.
We don't need to buy any other subscription for your project. It will take care of your keeping, or if you're maintaining your document, that is called a dashboard. It will take care of your we don't need project planning tool. Azure board will take care of you don't need any third party tool to store your code. Azure repo will take care. You don't need to build and release deploy your codes. This pipeline, Azure pipeline will take care of that. The test plan will take care of the running at Azure. Artifact will take care of keeping your build package. Okay, so we are getting everything, like whatever we have discussed in the project lifecycle, we are getting everything. If you know all this is more than enough. Getting right.
Yeah, yeah.
So now you will come to know you have come to know about what are the four services, what are the settings available in the project. Okay, from tomorrow we'll start with the first services. This is called Azure board. Here we have a board, backlog, sprint, and all. I have given you the like a basic understanding of a sprint, how the sprint agile work and all. So here we'll see like a practical how we can create a sprint, how we can create a work item, delivery plan, how we can see the analytics view and all. Okay, so each and every detail we'll see here. So we'll start tomorrow with that our first DevOps lifecycle, that is called plans, right? So we need to remember, you need to remember the DevOps lifecycle. So what are the DevOps lifecycle? Plan, code, build, test,
Oh,
release, deploy, operate, and monitor. These eight life cycle is there, and this is eight life cycle is a core principle of a DevOps. So we'll start with the first life cycle tomorrow. I've given all the basics to you, and I have explained the audio part and all. And now the time is to jump into the first DevOps, right? For a DevOps life cycle.
yes, yes.
So hope you are getting or something, right? Now we are getting an idea, right? So
Yes.
don't worry about,
Mm,
I will go into the organized form.
okay.
Okay. So and I'll update the materials and all here. Okay, in the repository. So let me explain you once more time, regarding repository and all. So whatever we have discussed, I'll just document it here. Okay, you don't need to worry.
Okay. Like where I need to share.
Like a short notes. I'll give you a short notes. Like see agent, how many agent, two type and all, kind of like the important notes. Getting now we are already, I am showing you. Okay, you can go to the recording and all, right, and you can practice it. So whatever we have created, we can do that. You can go here, you can revise. You have already this, and I invited you also. You might have got email on your C. You can check your hotmail. You might be received the mail from like a radio. Okay, you can accept this, so you'll be able to access this project. Okay, I'll just give this link also, so we'll be able to access this. Oh, fine, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm done with today. We'll see tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Like Saturday
Okay.
also it will be or class.
Sunday it will not be there for sure. Saturday
Saturday.
timing will be
Saturday.
then.
Different.
Saturday I need to discuss that I'm not sure.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, thanks Raghav. Thanks for your time.
Mm,
See you
thanks.
tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.